Yo, what's up guys? My name is JT and we're going to check out the new ScaleTrains GP30 right here on Model Railroading Southwest. Don't forget to get $10 off your next order of $50 or more on trains.com. That's trains with a Z. So I have two of these GP30Us from ScaleTrains, and I got to tell you, these GP30s are the best on the plastic market right now. Nothing surpasses these models. These are the best. They have the best detail, the best sound, and they run phenomenal. GP30s are my all-time favorite 4-axle locomotives. I remember seeing them as a kid when I was at my local train shop running around the layout, and I remember there were a couple of Proto 2000 models and I couldn't afford them and I just wanted them so bad. But when ScaleTrains released these, or they announced them a few months ago, I thought, man, I have to have them, and I cannot believe I have them, and they are absolutely gorgeous. So let's go ahead and take them to the workbench and check them out. Okay, so let's get started. Here is the first box, and here is the description and the SKU number if you want to check that out. Let's go ahead and open it up. Inside you'll find the product manual, which has a bunch of information about the DCC system and also some maintenance information and all that other stuff. Man, check out that model. That thing is absolutely gorgeous. Let's go ahead and open it up. This thing is absolutely beautiful. Alright, so let's get a better look of it and check out the details. ScaleTrains produces one of the best GP30 locomotives I've ever seen. This is absolutely incredible. The paint was absolutely flawless. I didn't find anything wrong with it whatsoever. There is no cracks, no runs, no streaks, nothing. And in the detail department, everything was intact. I didn't find anything on the bottom of the box, and I didn't find anything missing. This model was absolutely perfect, along with the other one that I got as well. Neither of them had any problems with them whatsoever. So let's go ahead and take a look at the front of the locomotive. This model in particular is a GP30U, a little different from the original GP30. One of the main differences being that they removed the original 567 D3 prime mover and replaced it with the 645 D3A prime mover. You can tell the difference upon startup and at idle. I actually prefer the sound of the 567 rather than the 645, but they both sound pretty good. Another difference that the Santa Fe did was that they removed the top headlight and moved it down to the nose there, and you can see that it's been blanked off at the top. Another difference being that the front windshield used to be angled, now it is flush against the cab there. Another thing that they did was they removed the class lights and blanked them off there, as you can see there. Now looking at the details of the locomotive and the quality of them, they're actually very nice. The horn looks great. You can look down into that trumpet, and that's what really makes or breaks a locomotive for me. I've said that before. If the horn wasn't executed well, it kind of throws off the entire locomotive for myself. Now they actually placed a HVAC system on the top there, along with some Sinclair antennas on the top. The front has some really nicely done windshield wipers that look nice and thin, and they don't look overbearing, and they don't look out of place. There's a few grab irons here on the top there, and down on the side on there you see some some MU hoses on the front there. This drop step does go up and down. I'm not going to demonstrate it because I'm afraid it's going to break. It looks very fragile. Behind that, on the front of the nose, you'll see that there is a walkway light. You can't quite see it, but it's right behind the drop step there, and it does light up. On the front, you'll find some coupler cut bar detail along with some brake hoses, and that's ScaleTrains plastic knuckle coupler. You know, there's a lot of people that complain about the plastic knuckle coupler. I've never had a problem with them. I do prefer KDs, but you know, most of my ScaleTrains locomotives still retain the original coupler that came with them. The grab irons, the handrails look very nicely done. There's not very much wrong with them. I didn't find any waviness in them or any bends or anything like that. They look well done. Let's go ahead and take a look at the side of the locomotive. One of my favorite features is the overall design of the GP30. I love the cab, I love how it's raised there. It really does separate it from any other locomotive. Down below, you'll see that there is a separately applied sunshade and also a separately applied mirror. You'll see that those windows do open up. I won't demonstrate it because I don't want to scratch the windows. Over here on the nose, you'll see that there is a compartment or a recessed area for the handbrake. It has a lot of depth to it and it's very well done, and there is a ton of detail in there. Down below over here, you'll see that there is an American flag there. Santa Fe did wear that flag on the side of the locomotive during the Gulf War. You see below there is a nicely done truck. There's a ton of detail on that truck. There is the leaf spring detail. Also, there is the brake detail. And there is a speed recorder, as you can see on the truck on the front wheel. The steps are nicely done. There is some tread on those steps there. You'll see that there is some decals here and all along the side. You can read some of them under magnification. Over here you'll see that there is a small area for the fuel cutoff, and also the fuel filler cap is right there. At this angle we have a good look of the conductor side of the locomotive. The letters that spell out Santa Fe look very well done. There's nothing wrong with them. They're nice and crisp. Over here you'll find that there are a couple of grills. Those are molded into the body. They do look like they're separately applied from far, but you can tell that if you look in, they are not separately applied. But they do have a silver paint treatment to them that gives them the illusion that they are separately applied, and they do have some depth. Down below you'll find that there's the emergency fuel cutoff and also the fuel filler. Just above the fuel tank you'll find an air tank with a bunch of piping coming out of that tank, and right below you'll find the fuel tank. You'll find that the trucks are very well done, both front and back. I really like the way these trucks look, and just behind the truck side frames you'll find that the wheels are actually painted brown, which makes it easier for weathering in the future if you'd like to do so. Here as we take a look at the rear of the locomotive, you'll find that there is a rear light which is very bright. Right above that rear light is the road number, which is very crisp and looks really nice. Right above that road number is the sand filler hatch. All along the side you'll find that there are some grab irons, and right below the grab irons, right at the bottom here, you'll find that there are some doors there with some latch detail which look very nicely done. Right at the center, right above where those doors are, you'll find that there is a small indentation there, and that is for the rear walkway light, which look very nice at night. Down below you'll find that there is a drop step that is able to be moved. I'm not going to lift it all the way up. I don't want to break it. There is a MU hose and some brake hoses and some coupler cut bar detail, and that same ScaleTrains plastic knuckle coupler. At this angle we can see the engineer side of the locomotive. You'll find the same molded in grills here, and just below there you'll find some safety decals that are legible under magnification, and some are legible to the naked eye if you have some good vision. Down below the S and in front of the step here you'll find that there is a walkway light which is illuminated and looks quite nice at night. Down below here is a separately applied grill, and over here is another separately applied grill you can see right in there, which looks pretty nice. Here we could take a look at the rear of the cab, and the reason I want to point it out is because the rear door is well detailed. You can see that there is a wiper there, and also on the door is a door handle or latch, and right below that door is a small step there which does have tread on it. Over here you can see this separately applied grill a little bit better, and you can see into it just a little bit better than the angle I showed you earlier. And right below the window here you can see that there's a separately applied mirror. And right at this angle you can see the rear of the horn, which is well casted. You can see the bolts on the back of the diaphragm. And also you can see the Sinclair antennas a little bit better on this angle as well. At this angle we can see the front of the engineer side of the locomotive. Inside the cab it's well detailed. There is 3 seats, a control stand that is molded to have the illusion of having gauges and switches and knobs and all that stuff on it, so it looks pretty nice. Also, what I want to point out is you can see the top of the locomotive here a little bit better. You can see the HVAC system, the horn, and also the antennas. On the front here you can find that there's another decal in front of the steps there, which looks pretty nice. You can read it with the naked eye and under magnification. It looks pretty well done. Let's go ahead and take a look at the roof of the locomotive. The roof of the locomotive has quite a bit of detail. This HVAC system has a simulated grille that has some depth to it, and also there's some Sinclair antennas. There is a molded in grille. It's not separately applied, but you can see down into the model there. The exhaust has a grate on top of it, but it has some depth. You can actually see into the model, and also there are some fans here with separately applied fans and separately applied grills. Also, there are some lift rings all over the top of the locomotive, and there's the grab iron, and there is the sand filler hatch, and there's the horn. This locomotive looks pretty good, so let's get this over to the layout and see how it looks. I think after you seeing these with your own eyes, I think you will agree with me that these are the best GP30s on the market. They have the best paint, the best details, and they sound absolutely phenomenal. I love that horn. If you were in the market for GP30s, you got to go check out ScaleTrains. These have completely surpassed my expectations. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you would like to leave a comment down below, please do it. I'd like to hear your opinions on everything and anything. There is a bunch of videos coming in the future. I have just not had the time to make them. I just don't have the time to make videos right now. You know, there's a ton of models underneath the layout that need to be reviewed. They're a little bit kind of irrelevant because they're a little older, but they're just such nice models that you guys got to check them out. So that's pretty much it for the video, guys. Talk to you later. Take care and keep it tuned to rails.